I was 20 years old, almost 21 when I got married to my husband, so that is 40 years ago. I was so nervous. We had a very small wedding, but my hands were just shaking so much I could barely hold the mascara wand. Hi, I'm Laura Ray, and today we're going to do a special video. I'm going to redo my wedding makeup the way I would do it now at almost 61 years old. Many of you will be going to events, maybe a wedding this summer where you want makeup that really lasts a long time and looks beautiful on your mature skin. So today I'm going to share with you this look that I recreated if I was getting married today. I know that on my wedding day, I put absolutely no skincare on my skin. My skin was so oily. I'm sure the only thing I did was wash my face before I applied my makeup. I would never do that now. I have combination skin now, but skincare is so important. Back then, I had acne, so skincare was important. I went to the dermatologist. I was on prescriptions to control the acne, but at this point, I have a whole other routine. So I put on today my Numbuzzin toner. This is the super glowing essence that I've talked a lot about. This adds hydration, this adds glow. It just really makes my skin come to life. Now, I still struggle with pores in this area showing up more than I would like them to. So I use the Numbuzzin 3 serum. This is skin softening and it's great for texture and pores. And then of course I want my skin to look smooth and as line free as I can get it. So I use the Numbuzzin 9 Plus. I've been using this since January. It's helped so much with making my skin just, I think, look more youthful. I'm loving this. I use this every day in the morning and night, and I really think it's helped my skin so much. I know for certain back then, I never put anything on my lips while I was doing my makeup. I really didn't worry about hydration. I've never had chapped lips. I live in Florida. At that time, I was in Fort Lauderdale, and it's just so humid there all the time. But now I love to have something on my lips while I'm doing my makeup. I feel like it smooths out the lines on my lips. My lips were a lot more pillowy back then when I was 20. This is the Physicians Formula Diamond Lip Oil. I'm such a fan of this. I think it looks beautiful over lipstick, alone. I just like to have something like this on my lips. I love these lip oils they come out with. They're so lightweight and hydrating. So I think a lot more about preparation for makeup now than I did back then. Let's talk about the eyes. I definitely did not wear eye primer back then. They really weren't around. The only thing that people used to do back then was use concealer on their lids. And back then my lids weren't very purpley or discolored. They were pretty much one tone. So I didn't use anything on my wedding day. I just put eyeshadow right onto the lid. But now I always use a primer. I have some discoloration, not a lot on my lids, but I just feel it grips the shadow. My eyeshadows back then used to disappear by the end of the day. My skin was so oily. Within a couple of hours even, the eyeshadow would look different. So today I'm using my MAC Painterly. The shade is Painterly. It's the MAC Paint Pot. And I love how this smooths everything out. I even like to take the Painterly and put it under the brows. It just really blends everything out. It holds onto the shadows so well. Now, I thought a lot about the eyeshadow. From looking at my wedding pictures, I'm thinking I wore some kind of neutral shade that day. But to me, the most romantic makeup out there is Charlotte Tilbury. I know some people are not fans of Charlotte's, but when I walk up to her display, I don't think magic. I really think romantic. So I chose this palette from Charlotte. It's the Dreams palette, the Pillow Talk. And this shade I'm putting on the lid and bringing it up. Now, I get a lot of questions about this brush because it's so different and unique. It's a pricey brush. I actually bought two because this brush is so amazing. It's made by Jillian Dempsey. And what I love about this fan brush you can take the product you have on your lid and just sort of bring it up so you can actually see the shadow. If you have deep set eyes like mine, or even hooded eyes, a lot of times you can't see the shadow on the mobile lid. So I like to bring it above the mobile lid, and I find that this brush works amazing for that and gives a very soft diffused look. I use the enhanced shade over the powder on the lid, and it adds just a slight luminosity to the look, and I really like the way that it turned out. So this is one of my favorites for a romantic style of makeup, and I thought it really matched well with the dress. For eyeliner, I wanted a liner that would last, so I did the Physicians Formula. I love this liquid liner. It's easy to work with. I used this on the lash line and then went on top of it with the powder from Charlotte Tilbury. The brush I used is this one from BK Beauty. It's a smudger brush. You probably have one at home just to smudge out the powder, so it would give a really soft look. I wanted everything to look soft, and using a brush like this works. When I was 20, I probably used something like this when I got ready. I don't even remember having makeup brushes then. I don't think I got them till later in my 20s. I bought some makeup kits that came with a brush, but back in the day, I got married in 1985. Most women did not have makeup brushes. We used wedge sponges, we used these, we had things like that. We might have had a soft puff, but we did not have all the brushes that we have now. Back in the day, I used a regular black mascara. I'm sure something from the drugstore. This is amazing. This is a tubing mascara from Revolution. It's their new wrap lash. I bought it first in this brown, and I loved it so much I went back and got the black. But tubing mascara is great because if you're out in the humidity, you're not going to have any flaking, any mess. Your mascara is not going to be getting everywhere. I probably wore a waterproof the day I got married because I knew there would be tears along the way. This is great because even if I cry, and I have cried in tubing mascara before, it doesn't come off. You have to have a significant amount of water to take it off. This just wraps around every lash like a tube, and when you use water, it looks like your lashes are coming off when you're washing it, but it's just the tubes of mascara, and I really love tubing mascara. I wear it most of the time now, but this wrap lash is great. It's just a straight wand that's plastic and really grabs the lashes, but I thought it did a great job with my lashes today. I really like it, and it comes, like I said, in brown, so if you wanted a softer look and not to have the lashes stand out quite as much, you could always opt for brown. Back in the day, sunscreen was just starting to get out into the market. We heard a lot about PABA back then, but we didn't have a lot of great sunscreens then. So now we do, and today I'm using the brand new one from e.l.f., the Halo Glow Skin Tint. I could have just worn this. I thought about not wearing foundation at all, but I wanted to talk about long wearing makeup. As you wear this during the day, it does last, but you do get a softer look, not quite as much color on your face. So if that's enough for you, then you might want to just go with this, because I always feel like the less layers, the better. But this is beautiful. I bought it in 2 shades. The one I'm wearing today is medium, the deeper shade that I bought. I also bought like a light medium, which is perfect. A better match for my skin, but doesn't add as much color. So I wanted a little more color to the face, so I went with the medium today. But this is beautiful. Again, it's mineral. I can't wear most sunscreens, and this caused me no sensitivity issues. I'm so excited. Now, it is pricier for e.l.f. It runs $18. That's what I paid for it, but it's beautiful, and a lot of weddings are outdoors these days. Mine wasn't. We were in a church, and then we went to the reception at my parents' home, so I really wasn't outside much. Pictures were most mostly indoors too, but you might be going to an outdoor event where you're concerned more about having sunscreen on, and I think this is a great choice. I know I wore foundation that day. I can't remember which one I wore. Back then, I used to buy a lot of Clinique because the dermatologist recommended it. I also wore a lot of L'Oreal foundation from the drugstore. So those are two that really stand out to me in my memory. But today I'm wearing my Tear. I think this cushion foundation works amazingly on my skin. It's so thin. I went over the sunscreen. At first I thought, well, the e.l.f. tint should be plenty. But then again, I want that longevity. I want to have my makeup look great for photos. I know a lot of you will have photos taken, maybe by yourself or with family. So this Tear is fantastic. This is a long wearing foundation. All of Tear is, and I find that it just doesn't budge. It stays on my face, looks so great. I can really get away with no concealer, but I wanted a brighter look today, so I ended up using concealer. But most of the time when I wear this, if I'm just having a regular day, I don't even use concealer because this offers such great coverage. What I like to do is I grab my brush from BK Beauty. This is the Angie Hot and Flashy 506. It's a concealer brush. I tap into this and go under the eyes. Having deep set eyes makes it very difficult with your fingers to get into every nook and cranny. So as much as I wish I could just do it with my fingers, I always end up needing a brush. Speaking of concealer, I did not wear any concealer that day. I'm sure I didn't do much with concealer back then. I was almost 21 years old. I've never really had super dark under eye circles, so I'm sure I just went under my eyes with my foundation. Now concealer has become one of the most important products that people are looking for. Today I use this one from House Labs that I bought recently, and I'm really enjoying this. This is called the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer. I bought the shade light, medium, neutral. When I buy shades, in case you're trying to match with me, I try to always stick with neutral. That's what seems to work the best for me. Warm sometimes is too orangey for me, and cool sort of washes me out. It just doesn't match or is too pink looking. So I find that neutral works best for my skin. In the Tear, I'm wearing the shade 24 in Latte. That's the one I wore for that. This concealer has skincare ingredients in it. It almost feels very jelly-like, and I love how it just blends into the skin. It doesn't get into my creases or fine lines. I also like how it matches with any foundation I use. It seems to somehow blend. You know how a lot of concealers will leave a line? You'll have to work sort of hard to blend that with your foundation you're wearing. Well, I don't have that problem with this one. This just seems to blend into whatever I've got on my face, if it's a tinted sunscreen or an actual foundation. But I've been so happy with this purchase. Our colors for our wedding were peach and a soft gray, and that was very popular back in 1985. You know how colors come and go with wedding shades. And so I wore, I believe, some kind of a peach sort of blush. I did a warmer look to my makeup, but I wanted to wear my Merit blush. I just love this. It lasts. It looks so natural looking. This is the shade Cheeky, and I think it's a perfect choice with the eyeshadow and with the lipstick, and it gives a soft look to my cheeks. I usually like bolder eyes and a lip and softer cheeks. That's just how I roll. But I like how this really just looks nice and soft on the face and adds to the romance of the look. I doubt I wore powder that day. I didn't used to wear powder until a few years ago. I felt like powder just caked up on my skin. The powders back then were just so heavy and didn't look good on my skin at all. But I wear powder now, and the powder I'm wearing today is from Morphe, and this reminds me so much of my Hourglass powders, and I actually chose this over Hourglass because I wanted something that would last a little longer. And I just feel like these powders just give a little more punch than the Hourglass. So this is a shade Dawn. I've bought this now in 3 different shades. This is their lightest one, and I love the way it looks in the under eyes. I feel like it brightens me up. I put it here in the middle to add a little light and on the chin, but this just keeps my makeup looking great and adds a smoothness to the skin, and it's just so lightweight, I don't even feel that it's on. Like I said, back in the day, I had such oily skin. I wish I had had something like this. This is the Magic Shine Eraser. I've talked about it a lot lately, but I couldn't leave it out of this video because when you're going to an event for hours, if you have combination skin like mine, you're going to get shiny. It's going to happen if you're in Florida. We have such humidity here that just walking to the mailbox, you can get that glowy look. So I love this because that just takes that shine down. If I were going to have a wedding now, I would have this in my bag to take with me. I would put it on before I went down the aisle, or if I was a guest at a wedding, I would have this in my purse. But you just dab into it, you just press, you don't draw across it, and then just go right onto the areas where you want to eliminate the shine. This can be used over sunscreen too. I love putting this on my sunscreen if it looks too shiny. I have several that I wear. Some of them are shinier than others. So this works great for that too. There's no doubt after I tried this RMS Living Luminizer, this would be my choice for a highlighter. I had no highlighter on. That wasn't really a thing in 1985, but this is gorgeous. It looks so beautiful on the skin. It just makes it look like your skin's super healthy. This is the one that was used on Victoria's Secret models, and it's a look. It's beautiful. You could put this also if you had an outfit where your chest was showing. You could put this on your shoulders, on your arms. Of course, my dress comes up higher, so I've just used it on the high points of my face, on my cheek here, and then I put a little bit here and on the nose, but I just can't get enough of this. This was a pricier investment. I think I paid $40, but it will last me so long, and as long as you keep the lid tight, it shouldn't dry out, and you barely use it. I mean, I literally just go over with the finger and that's it. I love this for my eyes too. I didn't use it on my eyes today, but I will often just dab a little of that on the lid, put liner, mascara, and that's it. Just something really simple. But this was such a great investment for me, and I definitely would wear it to any wedding. This is the new L'Oreal Infallible liquid lipstick that they've come out with. The shade is called Drunken Rose, and it was part of the inspiration for this look. When I first put this on, I thought, this looks so romantic, and boy did it last. I put it on my lips, and I was just at home all day, and I had coffee, and I was working on things for YouTube, and I go into the restroom every once in a while and go, oh my gosh, that's still on. It still looks great. I drank water, I had a couple snacks, all these things, and it still looked beautiful. And I thought, boy, I wish I had this for an event, because it's just so long lasting. I would never have to worry about my lipstick. That's what most of us think about. We think, has our lipstick worn off? And we go to the restroom to take a look to see how our lipstick's looking. We don't worry so much about maybe mascara or blush or any of that. Usually the focus is lipstick. So you just shake this up really well. It sounds like nail polish. You hear something going back and forth. What I love about this is the wand is super skinny, so it helps to make less mess. I used the pointed part and just went around the edges to define the lips. Now, before I put any lipstick on, I go over and around my lips with a clear lip liner. That's something I never used back in the 80s. I don't even know if they had clear lip liners back then, but I didn't have any lip lines then. I was so young. So now I do have lip lines lines underneath my lips, above my lips, and even a great lipstick can sometimes migrate because of something you're eating, maybe a salad with oil in it or something you're drinking. So I like to put on a clear lip liner. This one's from Doo-Wop. I've talked about it many times. It's called their reverse lip liner, but it's clear, and I like how large it is because I can just go right under the lips and sort of just build a dam so nothing gets moved around. But I definitely, with any lipstick that I would use a clear lip liner. I didn't have setting spray back in the 80s. I didn't use setting spray till a few years ago. And this is what I would recommend if I were going to an event. This is from Tier. It's their Mask Fit waterproof. I like to spray it onto a brush, then I apply it wherever I feel I need it. It's wonderful. It doesn't irritate my skin. It doesn't have any super strong smell like some of these do. Now, I also use this one. This is the Mask Fit Makeup Fixer, and I use this more for a daily basis. I put this on most of the time before I put on my makeup and sometimes a little after, and it just keeps my makeup on and makes it look more polished. It just looks better. But if I were going to an event where I was going to be away for hours or outdoors, I definitely would use this waterproof version. When I did my hair back in the 80s, my mom and I ordered a flower comb for the hair. Oh, what a mistake that was. My hair, I have a lot of it, but it's baby fine, and the comb was just so big, too many flowers. My aunt had to come in the bathroom and cut the flowers off, cut a few of them off so that we could put it in my hair. And I just regretted it. I really wish that I had worn my hair up. So today I'm wearing a ponytail in my hair, but I wished I had just done it up. I love it up with the high neck. I also love what I did for the video on Instagram. I did beachy waves. That's my husband's favorite. He loves the freeness of that kind of style. He likes my hair in the beachy waves. So if I had to do it again, I would either do the ponytail or the beachy waves. I want to talk for a moment about how all this got started. I posted a video on Instagram that has more than 800,000 views, and another one in the 600,000s, and then some with a little less, about my wedding dress. When I went to get married, I wanted a smaller wedding, and I said to my mom, I don't want to go to a bridal shop. Let's see if we can get one at the mall. And I really wanted a white dress, and I thought this is going to be really hard to find at the mall. And the first store we went in, I can't remember what it was. It might have been like Saks Fifth Avenue. And we walked in, and this dress was right towards the front of the store. I said, Mom, there's a white dress. And I looked at it, and it was by Jessica McClintock. So my mom and I went to a couple other stores. She insisted. She's like, this is the first store we went in. Let's look around a little bit. So we did. And I said, Mom, that's the dress. So we went back to the store. I tried it on because I hadn't even tried it on yet. And I said, I want this dress. So that's how I ended up with my wedding dress. I think at the time it cost about $150, which would be a little over $400 now. I think $450 in today's money. But it was such a great purchase. I loved it. It's T-length. It was perfect for our afternoon wedding. We got married at 1 in the afternoon. And again, the reception was at my parents' house. So I didn't want a long dress. I wanted something shorter. And this one was just perfect. I'm so glad I kept my wedding dress. Let me know in the comments if you still have your wedding dress, or did you give it to your daughter or a family member? I know some people actually took their wedding dress and made christening gowns for their grandchildren. It's really an amazing thing to hear what women have done with their wedding dresses. All of the products I used today are down below in the description of the video. Thank you so much for shopping those links and supporting my channel. I hope this was helpful. Let me know down below in the comments if you have an event you're going to this summer. I would love to hear where you're off to. Have a beautiful and blessed week, and I look forward to seeing you soon.